Criteria 3 is perhaps the easiest criteria to get wrong. It may seem as if it's easy to do in the form. You just fill it in, a long list of stakeholders, and then a cut and paste from the relevant section of the national curriculum. Job done. It is so much more important than that.
The national curriculum is your friend. You use that as a friend rather than we need to do the national curriculum, we're going to start with that and tick the boxes. It's much better to do it where you can apply that information. And actually, if you look at particularly the history national curriculum, you do have a lot of scope because you've got local history, you've got significant people, and you can make it work for you and your teachers. Just make sure you've got the right words in the right places and some guidance for teachers about each aspect of your workshop. How is that going to help them tick their boxes?
It's very easy to just do a cut and paste, pick out a big chunk from the national curriculum and put it in. That's not the way to go. It really has to be very focused. Explain how the programme that you're doing relates to the national curriculum. If you do it as precise as possible and show what value your students will get and how they are doing what they need to be doing according to the national curriculum, you will be successful in this section. When you're working with a school for a visit, it is really helpful to have a workshop plan. This will help the teacher to know what you are delivering, and you will have been able to discuss that with them in detail. But it's also very, very helpful for the judge to be able to see exactly what parts of the national curriculum you are delivering in that part of the programme.
I like to provide a plan so that the teachers know in advance what they're going to do. I prefer to make sure that the schools have a pre-visit so that they know exactly where they're coming and what will happen and who they'll meet. If possible, the children will be able to learn the name of the people that they're going to see when they arrive. And this plan will make sure that we are ticking the boxes in terms of national curriculum, but also because we're a cathedral, we need to make sure that we're following the local RE syllabus.
On the day of the visit, as a Sandford judge, what I want to do is to talk to your staff and find out that they have an awareness of the national curriculum and any changes that may be about to take place that may affect your planning and the programmes in the future.
So the pilgrimage workshop that we had today included medieval history, so local history, particularly for the children that are a local school anyway, so they're doing studies around the area. So it was important to start and get in context the building, when it was built, the area around the cathedral, so the guide went through that with the children. And they were in role, so they had an understanding about the time, so it was 1335, they had the right costume to wear, they had real food. So the senses come into a lot of areas of the curriculum, the PSHE, so she was asking the children how they felt, which was really important, and pausing and giving them a moment to say, you know, how would this feel? Imagine, you know, so many years ago, how would you feel seeing this building? So the children really get into the immersive aspect of the history. And then the RE syllabus is about children actually experiencing a place of worship. So this is the ideal location, and also talking through the way that faith is embraced in a building like this, and the signs and symbols, because that's a really big area of the RE curriculum, and that was brought in through making the pilgrimage badges, pointing out areas like the shrine of St Hugh, and where you would find particular symbols that are significant to the Christian faith. So it is all about educating children on what it is like to experience a real place of worship for the Christian faith. A key strand for the curriculum is the literacy aspect of it. So we're very lucky to have the medieval library here, and the children were able to experience how writing was actually produced on parchment, the ink. She explained the way that the documents were so valuable, and they were able to see 600-year-old medieval manuscripts and could appreciate the work that went into those documents and the reason why they're so precious today. As part of the consultation process with teachers and educators, it's vital to get their feedback on how a session went. And when you're producing new workshops, particularly, do practice pilot workshops, get the children to say how they felt about it, what would they like to see differently, talk to the teachers about how they thought it went, and obviously for your staff as well and your volunteers, because they will have seen the thing in practice on a piece of paper, but actually doing it can be a very different experience.
If I had to describe this session in one word, it would be interesting. Well, I really enjoyed how you actually got the food and learning a bit more about the cathedral, because most people don't know that much about it, and learning about the pilgrims was very interesting.
I really enjoyed learning about how it was to be a pilgrim, and I really enjoyed the way that they taught us that and the activities and trying to act like being a pilgrim. It was very interesting.
I didn't know that the pilgrims couldn't read either, and only people from church could read, and how the windows told all the stories, and that's the way they would be able to learn the Bible stories.
Well, maybe there could be a bit more role play, just to sort of get a bit more into character, because some people won't really like being a bit sarcastic about things, so maybe a bit of role play would be nice.
You don't really learn about pilgrims much in school, so maybe learning a bit more about their life at home and their life travelling here would be quite useful. Other than that, I thought it was really good.
During my discussions with the school staff, what I really want to find out from them is, do they think that your programme and the aspect of the national curriculum that it's covered have fulfilled their expectations? They need to know that they have delivered a valuable part of the national curriculum by coming to your site and following your programmes. The important point about your educational programmes is that they provide depth and colour that could not be provided in the classroom. If we see something that could have happened in a classroom, then that does not look good. It does not suggest that those teachers were right to bring their children out of their school and into your site. Make certain that it really does add that quality, depth and colour